Okay, I have a really exciting story. And sometimes I just have this exuberance and I come into most atmospheres and change it a little bit. And I just want to kind of like sprinkle this happy dust. And then I am very cynical. So because I'm a truth seeker, people misinterpret what I'm trying to say. But I love the friends that I have that keep, asking more questions and they don't just abort ship and say, oh, you're this egotistical, prideful, racist, whatever, judgmental, hateful person. I'm not. But I thought I was in this scenario. So I was going to see my massage therapist, and you know how, like, generally you just want to go and be quiet and you don't want to talk. Well, sometimes you feel compelled that you have to tell a story or whatnot for them, for their sake, of course. Maybe they're bored, who knows. Well, this particular masseuse is very angelic. She's really sweet, um, just soft spoken, and I was like blah 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 all over the place, and just kind of being me. And she made a comment like, you're really ridiculous, and I was like, oh, and I was taken aback, and she's like, you're gonna see that, like, you're not defined by your pain, because as I've spoken before, I have a lot of pain in my body, and it's been a mystery, what could possibly be going on. But I've learned to deal with it, accept it, and because of that, I've experienced a lot of psychosomatic healing connected to physical healing. So she was kind of dismissing it, like poo-pooing, if you will. And she was basically like, you'll see after you're through the woods with this that it really wasn't that big of a deal. And I was like, well, I beg to differ on that one. So I was going to cancel the appointment. I was like, okay, talk about a boarding ship. I'm off this. I'm not coming back. So I said, hey, do you have anybody else I could see? And I don't really think she's meshing with me, and I don't want to upset her every time I come in. And not going to have it. Like, in order for me to get the times that I needed, whatever, I had to maintain the schedule. So I show up and I'm like, don't talk, Angie. Shut it down. Don't say a word. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be calm and I'm going to be nice. What is it? You is kind, you is important, and you is smart. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Anyway, so I'm laying down and I'm like, zip it. And the true story, this is exactly how it played out. And I'm going to share it with you. She was saying something about a celebrity, and I said, I actually saw something about the celebrity that you were speaking of, and I can understand how it would be hard for you to, like, lose a loved one. She lost her father. And then she said, well, I lost my nephew in January, and he was 19, and since then my family has consulted in a medium, and it's been very helpful in their healing process, and I really don't know what to do about it. So I'm thinking, radar, radar, radar. I'm like, oh my God, please don't go down that path. And I'm thinking, I don't know how I can't tell somebody else what to do. And the Lord reminded me, tell her your story. And I said, well, my brother overdosed on heroin when he was 15. I was 19. And my stepmother, she contacted a medium, and this medium was accurate, like, knew facts, details to the minute expertise precision. Like, it was fantabulous. And I said, and it was moving. It was really very powerful. But the problem was, it had a twist. It was like, whether we needed to keep going back to kind of find out information about ourselves, which didn't make sense because we should know ourselves better than anybody else. But it kind of left this solemn heaviness. It really wasn't like an uplifting, exciting thing to know this information. What good did the information do except for affirm that this medium was actually hearing something factual? I said, may I introduce that there's many spirits out here, and as spiritual beings, we need to discern if we're hearing from Holy Spirit, which trumps all other spirits, or other spirits that may have an agenda. And how you can do that is simply, if there's a lore that you need to keep going back to gain their insight, that's kind of a red flag. If you feel worse after you leave, that's a big red flag. But it's also this ability to kind of usurp your own thought process, to be like, well, this is a little morbid, and I just want to have inner peace. So if you walk away, and here she was months later, still sorrowful over the loss of her nephew, I asked if I could pray for her. And I said, Lord, you know that I know the accuracy of spirits, because that's their job. Spirits have a role that they play. And if they're going to lie or distort the truth or come to steal, kill, and destroy, then they're going to make sure they do it in the most cunning and manipulative of ways. Hence, when we're emotional after the loss of somebody. And grief has its own stages that look different on every single person. So for my friend here, would you please give her some clarity as to if she can trust in your leading by Holy Spirit, or if she needs to go through sifting out truth through other spirits. And, you know, my eyes are shut, and I hear her sniffling, and her tears drop on my face, and I start crying. And I'm like, I want you to be at peace. And it can well up in you at any time through the grieving stage that you really will never see this person again. But we can be guaranteed that we will reunite if we do take faith into account. And it would be my prayer for you that you make your own decision, but I do want you to be protected. And I know that it did nothing for my family to know that a medium told us that Scott put his shoes up against the floorboard every day, and that we came in and had, you know, certain eggs for breakfast. Okay, cool, that was true, but it was true to a certain extent. There was no hope for the future. There was no strategy for being able to lift it up to God. And so I left it with her, and I said, we can lift this up to God right now, that he can begin to heal your heart, because your nephew is now no longer with you, but he is with God. And she did reveal to me how she had some interaction and conversation with her nephew about him very much wanting to be relieved of some pain that he was suffering with mentally on this earth. And I believe God does that as well. God is not the one that's ever killing our children, taking them too early. These catastrophic, traumatic accidents, they are never from God. Insurance salesmen have to say like a tsunami is an act of God. God is not the one sending the storm. He is the one that sends the rainbow after it. So I assured her that she's in God's plan, and she felt as if there was no need for her to see a medium. And I'm looking forward to being a part of her life, because she said, you thought you were here for me to help you. She's like, and all along, I know God sent you to me. And wow, am I glad that I did not abort ship, because I was ready to bail. But wow, thank God that he went before me.